All right, I'm building some nest boxes for the New Zealand rabbits. So they're large breed nest boxes. These are consumable products for us. The rabbits will eat them up. We pressure wash them and clean them between each litter. That eventually gets hard on them. But I like these better than the metal ones. I just think they're a little warmer. It's what we use. So dimensions on mine are 17 inches long. Make the sides 7 7/8 tall. That can vary. My backs are not quite as tall, just because it's the material that I had, so they're a little short. But it doesn't make any difference. The rabbits don't really care. My overall width on the boxes is 11 7/8. Be sure that whatever size you make them for width, they will fit in your holes in your cage. At one time we had a lot of variance in our cage sizes and holes and box sizes, because I just randomly built one or two when I needed them and they weren't all the same. So we've tried to standardize that over time. I like to use MDO, medium density overlay, which is typically a more solid sheet of plywood. It doesn't have the voids and holes in it that the other plywoods have. It's designed for concrete, so it also has a paper finish over the top, which is nice and smooth and cleans well. Fairly moisture resistant. I buy blows, which means that they didn't come out perfect. There's a few voids, or it's got a split where the glue didn't stick. So they're a little less expensive. And then as I cut them down and find the weak spots, I can add some glue in there and reclamp them, because I don't need them for concrete, but they last longer than regular plywood does. So, and a little easier to clean. So I assemble them with a 1/2-inch crown stapler and some Tight Bond 3 glue, so it's water resistant or water proof, for the cleaning and the urine and things don't affect it too much. Got one blew out. Rabbits are fairly tolerable of shoddy craftsmanship. Those break off easy enough. Flip it up and get the other side on. When I do these, I'll do a run of them. So that we'll have quite a few, because we at times will have 10 or 12 rabbits that are getting ready to kindle at the same time, and we need boxes, and sometimes I don't get time to get out and get them all clean, so having extras cleaned is nice. I like to be able to wash them and get them in the greenhouse for a while to dry well and get some UV rays on them and help just clean them a little more. All right, I'm going to shut this thing down while I finish building, and then I'll come back to put the bottoms on. I'm getting ready to cut the bottoms for them. Wanted to show you this before I take it apart, because it's going to get ripped and torn. This is what I use for the bottoms. It's a galvanized expanded metal mesh, real small, little diamonds in them. It's nice. The moisture goes down through it, but the little kits or feet can't get through it. It's easy to get cleaned. You shoot the pressure washer through from either side. Eventually it'll rust out and need replaced. I usually end up with one replacement per box before the box is shot the next time and it needs replaced. Anyway, that's the product I use. Lowe's used to carry it. I couldn't find it there the last time, so I found it on Amazon and ordered it from there. All right, we've got the box frame. We got 10 of them made up here that I'm going to do. Another thing I didn't point out, I use 1/2 inch on the sides and 3/4 on the front and backs, so that I've got more to staple into. Here's one that I found that needs a bottom replaced. You can see eventually it'll rust out. It takes them quite a while, but I use stainless steel screws to put them together so I can take that apart and they're not all rusted up and strip out. These are the screws that I use. I just use stainless steel because they don't rust, like I say, and I can get them out and put them back in. They're a little pricier. All right, so we've got the bottoms cut. Now, remember in the measurement, these were under 12 inches because when you have the hole in your cage, it's going to be 12 inches or a whisker under. So if you make them a full 12, you end up too wide to go in the hole. So this expanded metal is 12 inches. So it sticks over a little bit on one side. It's just something I trim. You could probably just roll it up with a side of a hammer and push it around the side, and then put the side trim I'm going to put on over it, cover it. I don't do that, I trim it. So just use these staples that hold it on the bottom, because the trim piece I'm going to put on will cover them and they will hold the bottom in. I did my original ones without. I just stapled them or put some little screws in them to hold it. And with enough sliding around in and out of the cages, you end up tearing the bottoms off. So I had to come up with a way to prevent that. And I'll show you what that is directly. And like I say, this stuff is really thin enough you could probably roll it around the corner there and be okay. And I have on some. All right, the material that I use for the bottom is a piece of drywall trim. It's a 1/2 inch, nice flat smooth edge. And then here's the edge with all the holes in it that would have the drywall tape over it, and then the mud to clean it up. I believe it's to cover an edge of a sheet of 1/2 inch sheetrock that doesn't have anything else to cover it with. I believe that's what it's designed to do. But it works really well for these bottoms. So I just go around and measure the size of each of the sides. Get it a little extra, or you'll fight it to make the corners. If they come up a little short, they don't want to bend, it all bows. Then I just make a little one notch in the bottom, one cut right up to the side, so it'll bend right around just like that. And it's pretty slick. This nice smooth edge allows it to slide around, but yet these little corners that stick out will kind of hang on it a little bit on the bottom, so it doesn't just slide, willy-nilly everywhere. Of course, it slides till you want to slide it, and then it wants to hang up. But these stainless steel screws are nice, but they're also a pain. They don't have any iron in them. That's why they're stainless, which means they don't stick to my magnetic tip. And so they're short. They're 1/2 inch screw. So they're a little hard to hold on to get ready to start while you hold everything else together. But there it goes in the slot. So I just screw that on around the rest of the way. I put generally 2 in the long side is enough, and 1 in the shorts. if the hole that you have in the short side is way off on one side, sometimes I'll put another, but it doesn't take a lot to hold this on there. And this turns out a pretty nice nest box. We do get, you know, quite a bit of use out of it. Again, I like the expanded metal bottom. Way better than the old plywood woods we had. You didn't feel like you could really get those clean. And then when you'd get into the nest box, the moisture didn't leave. Here we're using wood shavings for the nest material, so the water and urine drains down into that, and then the air moving past the bottom of this will help wick it down and out, so that it keeps them a little drier. You still have to get in and clean them out, but if it gives you an extra day's cushion, that you should have cleaned them out 2 days ago, but you didn't get to it, and because it had a bottom that drained, the kits are all right. To me, it's worth it. It's, like you say, it's a nice clean build, easy to wash and hose out. So anyhow, there's the nest boxes that we use.